What's up? What's up? What is up, everybody? Hello, and welcome to Critically Aroused. And if you have already been listening, we've already done our news and our what's streaming as far as the podcast goes. But if you're on YouTube, then you're just now joining us, so hello. But what we're going to be doing now, guys, is we're going to be talking about the lovely film here, Nobody. Now, this movie actually just came out. It's theaters only, right?
I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
This is one of the few that is going to be theaters only lately, because most stuff, it's like, it seems like everything right now is launching on HBO Max, but
Yeah.
you know, this is a theater only thing, so I understand a lot of people have not seen this movie. We will be talking about it in spoilers. We'll give you a little bit of a rundown of things before we get into the spoiler section, but you know, you can listen to that portion and then decide if you want to hang on for the review and keep on listening as far as the spoilers. But this is one of those things. This is definitely an action movie along the lines of John Wick, and this is directed by, I want one of you guys to try and say this name, please.
Ilya?
Uh-huh. Ilya.
Not sure. Schurler. Schurler.
Perfect.
Nice
Best.
Wait, hold on. Schurler?
There we go. Yes.
Yeah.
But
he
this is
looks
the director
like
of Hardcore Henry, actually.
Oh, that makes sense.
So if you've seen Hardcore Henry, which does make a whole lot of sense, and we were talking about earlier in our news and what's streaming section, that we're pretty sure that some of the John Wick team was tied into this movie. I'm not 100% sure who that was.
I bet it was in the writing. Maybe
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it's the writer. Yep. The writer is tied on to all three John Wick movies.
Yep.
So
and
that would
Falcon.
make sense.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, he has done some work on...
Busy man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Derek Kolstad, which is a name you can say. And this movie's starring Bob Odenkirk, and I'm going to say this. Do not look at the casting for this film, and do not watch the trailer for this film. Well, you probably could watch the trailer. I don't think it shows any other characters, but there's a nice little surprise as to some characters that are in this film that it waits quite some time to actually reveal that I think is a spoiler.
Opening credits.
Oh, are there names in the opening credits?
There's one name for
Oh,
sure,
really?
but not the other one.
Okay.
I missed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice it either, so that's interesting. But the big thing to know is it's Bob Odenkirk, and if you're not familiar with Bob Odenkirk, well, you probably are, you just don't know it. And he's primarily known for his fame in Breaking Bad and now Better Call Saul. And before that, he was actually known for doing comedy, so he's had a heck of a career. This guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he's just got such a range, and then now he's moved into full-blown Keanu Reeves level action. So, you know, who would have thunk
What
it?
a fun,
Yeah.
what a fun ride.
And I've loved him in all the other stuff he's done, and I was really glad to see him breaking out. And I mean, really, it's like, you know, I would say you think he's around Keanu's age?
He was born in 62.
62, so probably so.
Yeah.
He might be
probably
a
is.
little older.
I think it's really cool that guys like him are like, to go into action at his age is an awesome thing.
Right.
Like that's just super
I
cool.
aspire to do that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Be like, I am now past my 50s. Let's do an action movie.
Time to finally get into shape.
Yep, time to stick the cane in the closet. I've had it out for a whole year, and now we're going to do some karate and guns. So, yeah, but that's basically the summary of this thing as far as who's in it, who's making it, and I don't really want to say a whole lot more as far as anybody else that's in this movie until you get into the spoiler section. But I think what we'll go ahead and do is go ahead and move on into the main format of how we handle our reviews. So I really don't even think we need to do a, you know, who should or shouldn't see or what's this movie like, because really it's, if you've seen John Wick and that type of movie and you like it, you should probably just watch this.
I will say, it is like John Wick and the movie Red, starring Bruce Willis, came together and had a baby.
Yeah. And I'll say...
That was this movie.
Yeah, it's more along the lines of, like, if you were to look at John Wick 1, not 2 and 3. Like, 2 and 3 go to such a scale. This one, you know, it's an origin story for this character.
And who knows, maybe they're going to make a sequel that follows the John Wick
Yeah, for sure.
projection.
Yeah. So, or trajectory.
Trajectory.
That's what you're thinking. But sure.
We all
Close
got
enough.
Yeah, we got you. So, outside of that, I think we're going to go ahead and do our tomato scores and predictions. What we do is we try and make a guess on what the critics and the audience are going to think about this film. And I am interested to see what you two have to say. And there is a semi-spoiler, which I feel like we do need to go ahead and reveal as far as you guys' viewing of this film.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. No, we can wait till after.
We'll wait. I'll save that for later. Surprise. You'll get to hear about it after we start the review. So what do you guys think that the critics and audiences are going to think about this movie? Now, I have a feeling that the audience, the amount of people that have seen this is probably going to be fairly low considering that it's theaters only. So we do need to keep that in mind.
I don't know. I feel like the theater was pretty full.
That is true when we went, but yeah, I think people are starting to get back to it.
True.
So who wants to go first? Or do y'all want me to go first?
You go first.
Me go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Two it up.
I can do that. All right, so critics, I think, are going to give this thing like a... I want to be pretty fair with this. I'm going to give it... Critics can be kind of hard. I'm going to give it a 78 by critics. And by audience, I'm going to give it a 89.
Okay.
So a 78 by critics and an 89 by audience. What do you guys have? How about you, Matt? You clearly have written this down.
I think
thought about
critics will give it a 40.
Really? Whew.
Wow.
And audience a 93.
Okay. So we're pretty close as far as our audience scores. Chris, what you got?
Man, Matt's making me like
I know.
Make you
nervous.
think things.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, I've also been wrong
He has.
for the last 10 weeks.
At least.
Like
And you've
drastically
been
wrong.
right
At least
almost
on, one
on the
side.
number on
Yeah.
one side or the other every week.
I'll say critics 82
Okay.
and say audience 87. Did somebody else already say 87?
I said 89.
And I said 93.
I'll say 87.
Nice.
It's a very close spectrum for me.
Yeah, we're all right within each other. So
Just how I like it. All of us have been
just
chatting.
right within each other. Also, we haven't said it yet as far as the YouTube people go, but this is also a rated R episode. All of us have kept it pretty clean so far, but this movie's rated R, so our review is going to be rated R.
Yeah, this movie is definitely rated
It's
R.
definitely a rated R movie. So I guess don't have your kids listening to us talking if you're just now joining us. But yeah, so that's our score predictions. It looks like Chris and I are right at exactly the same guesses almost.
Pretty much.
And then Matt is way off in left field on his critic his critic guess here. So from here on out, guys, it's going to be complete and total spoilers. We're going to do a deep dive review here. We're going to get down into the nitty gritty of it. But honestly, I think I said it in the news portion when we were talking about this, but I don't think this is going to be a super long review just because of the type of movie that it is. But I think it's going to definitely be a fun one. And so we'll talk about it in spoilers, and then we'll check and see what our predictions, who was right and wrong, and so forth, and see what the critics thought about this thing and if the critics were right.
Yeah.
So, spoilers starting right about now.
So Keanu is 2 years younger.
He is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they're really close in it.
That's the spoilers. That's it.
That's the spoiler. No, so the spoiler is that I didn't go see the movie with these two guys. I was going to go by myself, and then I got a text message. What? Yeah, well,
I said that's a half truth.
half truth? Well, I guess it is. That's a good point. That is a half truth, but not intentionally.
He just didn't want to see it with us.
I didn't. They're filthy heathens, and I hate them both. So outside of that, I got a text message from Chris, and he said, "When are you going to see the movie?" I told him. I thought he was just wondering. And then when I told him I was probably going the following day, he said, "I will be there as well." And so if that does not give away Chris's opinions on this movie, I don't know what does, considering that he saw it 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
And
I just had to make sure that I hated it.
Yeah.
You know, like, see it once and you go a second time just to
really lock in the hatred.
yeah.
You're like, I really got to be sure about this.
Yeah.
And then the following day, I told Matt, I was like, hey, buddy of
I get a
ours.
text at 2, and he's like, we're going to go see it at 8. Do you want to join us? And I was like, I got the AMC pass, so
Yeah, so why not?
I got 3 movies a week. There's not that many movies out.
You're like, I
not
also
go
like
see
to
it
check
again?
my hatred. So
Exactly.
So they both decided to go a second time to see how bad they hated it. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. So what do you both really think about it? Or actually, no, better question. What do you guys think that I thought about it? Since we all know that you both loved it.
I think you liked it. I don't think you liked it as much as we did.
You don't think?
I think you loved it.
Yeah. I did. I really loved it. I did. I really did a lot. I liked it a lot.
Good job.
It was a good
Proud of you.
guess, sir.
Yeah, I did. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie a whole lot. I would definitely watch it again. Like, it's that sweet, like we've talked about, it's that perfect hour and a half for these action type movies. It is just, this is basically a new John Wick.
Yep. Yep.
Just John Wick 1, like we said earlier,
Right.
though. But I definitely did love it. Did you guys, when y'all saw it the first time, were you picking up the vibe that you both really loved it the first time just by being near each other?
Well, Xena was in between us.
Okay.
Matt
Yeah.
says that he couldn't see me. Which is fair because I didn't actually see your reaction.
Yeah, I didn't see
either,
any of
so-
your reactions, actually.
But my feet were literally like flying in the air, like for
It's
some
like
of
his
these.
first time.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was there was
Really?
there's some scenes in there that are just like, oh my god, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
incredible. Like the bus scene, the knife going through, like he stomps the knife through the leg. I mean, that was the first of many to come. But,
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
that movie. Yeah,
I don't even know where to go. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. There were some plot things where I was just like, this is very loose. And they left a little for me that I was like, I wish they would explain a little bit more. For example, like his wife. Did she know that he was...
no,
But then it kind of seemed like she did.
Because she patched him up, and he's like, remember the old days.
She just like glued him up. Like, remember the old days in Italy. And I'm like, so...
but she didn't know what he did, so he would probably
But it
come back.
seemed like she sort of did.
Right.
So that's where I was kind of confused, and I wish they had been... I don't know.
Well, she said, we need to talk about this. And he was like, there won't be any more, you won't be living in any more lies, or there won't be any more lies or something, whatever
Yeah.
they're in the garage.
Yeah, but he could have just been talking about how he can't deal as like a normal person because he needs to be...
It was like a drug to him. So
Right.
the fact that he got back in, basically, and clearly he felt like he was lying
but
about
that was where I talked to Xena about it, and that's what she said. She was like, oh, you're supposed to just infer that she didn't know. And I was like, I just felt like the way they wrote it seemed a little...
Kind of
left up to her interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think they did leave some in there for interpretation. I wish there had been a little bit more, they had expanded on a little bit more. But for this type of movie especially, it's like, if you think about even the plot of John Wick, it's just like, guy has dog gets killed,
They
guy
steal his
murders
car.
everyone.
Yeah.
Steal his car, guy murders everyone.
Right.
So, and I mean, it's not too far off from this. It's like, guy
Yeah.
gets
Robbed.
demasculated
Yeah.
when he's robbed, then he kills everyone.
Yeah, because he's trying to find a kitty bracelet.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And I also laughed at this movie a lot. This is
I did
John
too.
Wick with humor.
More
in it.
humor.
It is.
Which makes
Yeah.
sense for Bob Odenkirk. He's good, but he did more dry humor in this, though, I think. Versus,
Right.
Yeah.
Which I guess he always is kind of dry as far as his humor, but he does it so well.
Yeah, but it also fits. Like, it would be out of place for this to be like slapstick humor.
Well, it's just because he was like a
Ruined.
dad. It was just like kind of like dad humor. Like when he found the bracelet, he's like, "Oh, you silly thing!" As it's underneath the couch with the 4 dead guys on the couch.
God, when he's talking to the dead guys, or well, and the one alive guy, and he's just like having the conversation with him, I was like,
Just
"This
monologuing.
Yeah, this is the perfect time for a monologue. Is for him to just be telling all these guys that he's basically murdered. Like,
Yeah.
This is why I
Why?
murdered you, and you didn't know this about me, but I'm a badass.
yeah, you barked up the wrong tree, and now you're dead. I'm sorry. So, yeah. And to get back to it, we didn't fully. If you haven't seen this yet, this is a. Well, I mean, we've talked about the John Wick aspect, but basically, it's about a guy who just seems like a regular old nobody, and he gets robbed, and he lets them rob him essentially. But then later on, you do come to find out that he has a special eye for this kind of thing, and saw that the people that were robbing him weren't good at robbing people, and he felt bad killing them.
Right.
Yeah, basically they were not armed. They had an empty gun, and I don't think did they even have a baseball bat?
No.
No.
He
Yeah,
just
so
had
it
his
was
golf
just
club.
empty gun, and that was all they were trying to rob him with. And he realized that, and because he had a clear drop on one of them that would have done a lot of damage, even if he didn't have special training.
But it's one of those things. It's like, imagine living that lie to where you're like, my wife, my kids, especially my teenage son, think that I'm a spineless loser who can't even stand up for his family.
Yeah.
And
I feel like he could have found a little in between.
I know. Yeah.
I feel like I get it. You don't want to go full bore and be like, I'm a total badass and I can kill everybody.
A borderline like serial killer for the government.
Right. Just be like, I'm I can still be a cool dad.
Well, and
I feel like he could have just like disarmed her really easily and just been like,
even just like
take the gun apart,
shoved into her or something, you know, not even anything cool. He could have just pretended to trip and fall into her.
Yeah,
right.
I think what it really came down to was for him, he's like, this is my crack. Like, if I do this line right here, like,
it will become violent.
Yeah, like, I am going to kill these people. I'm going to feel good about it.
Right.
I'm going to fall back into my own ways, so I'm just not.
But that's why it was completely worth once we got to the bus scene.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
And he fucking wrecked those 5 guys.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember. I feel like there's fight scenes on buses and like subways are always cool.
Yeah, it's the close quarters.
Yeah, it's a mixture of
kind of
close
like
quarters and the rails and things. They're always find inventive ways to use them in fight sequences.
Right. I always loved, like, every time there was a fight scene, like, he was, because this is his drug, like, he would always, like, smile. He'd have that little smirk on his face. He was just like, or like whenever he went to, this is skipping ahead a bit, whenever he was talking to the Russian dude and like gave him the ultimatum, he was waiting in his car and he was just like,
please.
He wanted those doors to open.
Yeah.
Which is fun because I don't think I've seen any movies where that's ever kind of happened.
Yeah.
That's
where it's kind of weird for me because if this movie, as far as the, like, obviously I'm reading into this by thinking that there's a message that it's trying to say. But like the beginning of it, it felt like it was kind of making fun of, because the cop was condescending to him, the neighbor was condescending to him, and like they were making this like this point or environment about how the world and masculinity is so caught up in like violence, where it's like promoted and stuff. But then he turns around from the word like it was saying that that's a bad thing. But then it turns around and it's like, this movie is literally like promoting violence for this character, obviously.
Right.
So it was kind of like a weird like roller coaster ride. I was like, the beginning of this felt like they were like, oh, violence is bad. Everybody's so obsessed with it and they think they're so manly. If they came in my house, I'd beat them up. And it was like, no, you probably wouldn't.
Yeah,
right.
But yeah, so it was interesting, that portion of it.
It was an interesting commentary in regards to that. I kind of saw it more as a... I didn't see it as them looking at it negatively per se, but more of just like that type of guy of like,
just
the guy
making fun of it.
Yeah, making fun of the guy of like, oh, if it was in my house, because like everybody says that, but it's like, how many are going to be the guy that actually whoops the people's ass that are robbing you? But I did love that we don't get a lot of stuff anymore that's not shitting on masculinity. Like, and this movie does not shit on that at all. And it's
it tries to.
You think?
I mean, they, like we've been saying, like they're emasculating him because he's not standing up for things because he knows he will go too far.
Well, yeah.
And then after that one point, then it doesn't.
Well, I didn't think it was shitting on that, though. I think it was more calling attention to the fact of, like, men not being masculine. Like, you being this run-of-the-mill, go to the office every day. You're not embracing your masculinity. You're just, like, going out there and you're, running laps and, whatever, and just eating your cereal in the morning and going on with your daily life. And that is the thing.
Can you stop describing me, please?
I mean, you can come and, like, throw hay around with me at work.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I have a hay allergy.
I do too. I look pretty bad after I've been doing it, so it's not just me or you. But yeah, no, I thought it was more of them calling attention to the fact that that's actually where we are as a society now. And I've heard a lot of people actually, this is a little bit off topic a little bit, but about the fact that basically the reason that our society is where it is now is because we do have a large generation who we kind of have been spoiled. They're I mean, obviously we had the Iraq War, but it wasn't like there was a draft. You know, we weren't all enlisted and sent into the military. As far as our work and our jobs go, trades have fallen down. You know, there's not nearly as many tradesmen now. You know, many of us do have desk jobs and things like that. And there has been a lot of commentary starting to happen in certain circles now where it's like, you know, we are to a degree losing a lot of the things that...
The necessity for being masculine.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Because everything's
the necessity for it. Sure. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And so we've lost some of that. And I felt like this movie was kind of calling attention to that in the beginning, but then it turns into an action film, obviously.
Yeah,
but
I don't want to like try to read too deep into this John
because
Wick
it is
like just murder.
This movie
fest,
is just pure action.
Yeah,
sure, it definitely is. But I just like that it's coming from that perspective when we don't see that a whole lot anymore.
Right. Yeah,
it is pretty much just like the John Wick movies. You know, otherwise you're getting other fluff that you might not necessarily want. You know, and I just love these old school and like the director he did Hardcore Henry. Like it is just a balls to the wall machismo action movie. Right. And I mean, when we were kids, that's all we got. It was Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger and all these guys.
Jean-Claude
Van Damme, all these guys with rocket launchers just blowing shit up.
Oh yeah, like, nonstop. Yeah. Action.
Yeah, it was great. It was a good time. Yeah. Severely miss it. This is kind of a callback to that, you know.
Yeah, I think that's why I saw it twice. I was like, this is such a fun movie. You don't see these that often nowadays.
No.
Right. And when you find one and it's a good movie, then you'd be like, yes, okay, I will watch this one again. And that's what, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but when we were in the theater both times, the theater was pretty full, I will say.
Yeah.
Both times.
It was.
It was more full when we saw it with you. Mm-hmm. But both times I was like, okay, this is a good amount of people here.
What was that other movie that there was only 2 other people?
Oh my gosh, there was nobody.
What was that?
In
it's the one we reviewed a couple weeks ago.
Wasn't that the one with like super famous?
Was it Monster Hunter?
No. It wasn't Monster Hunter. It was the Chaos Walking.
Oh, Chaos Walking, yeah.
Oh, that's
we keep forgetting we saw Chaos Walking, and we all loved it.
We forget the name. Yeah, it was a great movie.
It was a great
movie.
The name. And it is the name, I think.
What is the name?
Yeah, it is a tough
rose?
name. So, as far as details, I mean, really, story bits, I thought the story was perfectly fine. Like, it's an action movie.
I will say... The soundtrack was phenomenal.
It was really good.
I loved the soundtrack.
It was an unpredictable soundtrack.
It was. It was all just like oldies.
Yeah.
And
right.
Jazzy.
It's like, here's jazz.
Yeah,
but it's funny because there's a lot of things like we've heard before in action movies, but we haven't heard in a long time in action movies. And then they're like, here you go. Here's a serving of nostalgia.
Yeah. I think that in a nutshell, and I hadn't thought about it until we were sitting here talking, but everything about this movie is very nostalgic as far as action movies of our childhood.
Yeah.
In a certain way, just mixed in with, actual, a fairly good film. Because it's like you go back and watch some of those movies from the 90s that were action movies. They were terrible.
Oh, yeah.
It was just,
like the acting.
Oh, you just watch them for the action.
Yeah.
The dialogue was terrible. Yeah.
Exactly. But this it's all of the rest is actually still very good. I mean, considering.
And the cinematography, I am always a stickler for CGI and bunch of jump cuts. This movie is like top tier for me as far as and that's a huge reason to why I liked it so much. But I mean, like, there was no CGI except for maybe some like blood splatter. Mm-hmm. Like they might have amped up
like
the blood
when they're following him throwing the gun, things like that. Like
sure.
But like it still felt realistic, and maybe they did do it.
Oh, I mean, that was literally just like a camera stuck to a gun that they threw.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That RZA caught perfectly.
Yeah, he did.
Speaking of things we haven't talked about yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just love that he was just like, I'll be in this movie for 10 minutes.
I literally looked over and I was just like, is that RZA? Like, is that who that is? He was like, yeah. I was like, no way.
Yeah, and that's the name that they show at the beginning in the opening credits. They show RZA,
is it?
But they don't show. We haven't even spoiled that yet.
Have not even spoken his glorious name.
Right.
But yeah, Christopher Lloyd is in this movie,
and I was shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't watch the trailer even before we recorded this, but.
Oh, right.
The trailer doesn't show it, actually. Well, I saw it back when I saw something. Oh, it was before you guys got into Chaos Walking, I think. They showed the trailer, and I got stuck seeing it. And so,
okay.
Yeah, but at least as far as I can remember, I was trying to kind of ignore it, but I don't remember them showing Christopher Lloyd. I do not remember them showing RZA. And those are just two. The big one you're going to recognize is Christopher Lloyd, obviously, from Back to the Future, but...
Yeah.
He just, it was awesome to see him back.
It was.
And he actually did something.
Oh my
God.
And
that was the fun part, because it was just like, this buddy cop action scene, you know, where it was just like Christopher Lloyd with like 10 shotguns just shooting, and he's just like a little old man, like
Just a badass.
Yeah.
Right.
Love it.
Yeah, I really did too. I thought
And
it
then
was
Rizzo was killing it with a sniper rifle in close quarters.
when he shoots 3 people in a row.
I know. I was like, oh,
Collateral.
as the whole theater was.
Yeah.
Everyone was
Yeah.
like,
There was a scene. I don't remember what was going on.
when he got tased.
Something happened, and somebody in the movie theater, it got quiet. She was like, "Oh hell no!" And like right when it got
It's
quiet,
when
we're
they
all just
capture
dying.
Hutch, the main character.
Yeah.
Because they end up hitting him with a taser. And she's like, oh, hell no, not with the taser. Silent theater. That in the background. That's why I miss the theaters. It's shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It just adds to the experience.
Yeah, especially when everybody's there. Like, that's the thing is, if you're going to the theater right now, it's not because you just have time and you just want to go do something. It's because you want to go to the theater. It's not a Friday activity. It is, I planned ahead and we're going to the theater.
Yeah,
Sure.
And there was a point in this movie where I don't know if y'all noticed, as it was early on, where I audibly yelled. Like it was a loud. Like I felt bad after I did it. I was just like looking around, like, did anyone else hear me holler?
Dude,
like,
I was literally that guy that was like clapping and like flailing my arms and
there's
yelling.
a huge spider beside you. Just so you know.
Oh.
I don't know if you saw him. He's
No.
He's right there. Sorry for the distraction, folks. But
Just
there
a
was
big old spider.
spider
Nothing to worry
dropping
about
from
for
the
you
ceiling,
people.
coming to eat Chris.
he's
That's
fine.
all. So sorry, but yeah, what were you saying?
Now he's
Oh,
going
no,
back
I
out the
was
window.
just
He's
saying-
out of
I
here.
was just watching this spider come to murder you.
Hi. No, I was just that guy. I was literally like clapping and like flailing my arms and being
Because it's
very
hard
loud.
not to, because
Yeah.
it's a fun movie.
God, it's so fun.
I was like,
That's why the critics.
screaming,
That's why
like,
the critics are gonna hate it. I'm still
Maybe-
calling it. The critics are dicks, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, "This movie doesn't make any sense."
This movie glorifies violence and
Yeah.
guns.
He put shotgun shells on a wall. Doesn't make sense.
Oh my god, I love it.
dude.
I know. I was like,
It
these
was
are
so
so
good.
crafty.
Yeah, he's like,
He'd be great at craft time.
Yeah, I loved his preparation of how he takes all his gold, he buys this business that he wanted and that his brother-in-law and father-in-law owned, and then just turned it into a war zone.
Yeah,
It was
just
awesome.
made it into a death trap.
Yeah, which was also, I'm just like, I hope he didn't give them all of his gold.
I think he did.
You think? Because he was still buying a baller house at the end. Like
he had
But he
still
had
all that cash.
He had that Van Gogh,
he did.
He also did
which
have the
probably for a couple million at least.
splattered with blood.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't clean that off. But he's getting at least a couple million for that.
think.
Because that's another thing Zane and I talked about. I was like, he was carrying around that painting for a while,
Yeah.
but then he gave away all of his gold. But then he's buying a house at the end after destroying his business that he just bought.
yeah.
He still had a lot of cash in that container he got the gold out of too. So
That's true. And we don't know. There is a chance he could have taken some of the money that he burned when he burned down the facility.
That's true. That's
he
true.
also could be a very good investor. You don't know what his 401k is like.
He could have rebuilt the
Does he have an
business,
IRA
too.
Roth?
He made
You
it
know,
pretty
he
clear
worked
that
for the
he was-
government.
Yeah, he
so
worked for the
they
government
have very
for a
good
while.
retirement systems.
could, he
I don't know
could.
why we're so concerned about his finances. But
Well, at the very end, I was kind of confused because, I mean,
You're like, he's
he
buying
didn't
a
seem to
mansion.
spend all the gold. I mean, maybe they sold. Nope, he burnt down his house.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe he just was living off of.
he didn't buy a mansion.
Well, it was clearly
It had a pond in the back.
it was a
This house has a pond in the back.
that is true.
It's a mansion.
This is a very large house.
If you didn't know,
How much gold do you have, Wade?
I don't think it'll tell
I
us.
don't
That.
want to discuss it.
We'll have to find the holes in the yard.
Yeah, get your metal detector and start digging, bitch, because you got a couple acres to go over. But yeah, I don't even know. Like, I don't know what else we really need to dig into as far as it, because the story is very simple.
Yeah.
The action moments are fantastic. You have these big highlighted scenes. You know, you have the bus scene. You have his scene in his house.
Yeah.
You have the scene where he's in his car and when he shows his ass to the gangsters.
Yeah, the car scene, even like the chase.
God,
scene,
it was so good.
like it's all practical effects.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that just no CG.
There's just something to be said for like movies that do practical effects.
Yeah.
And action movies are really good about it if they're not sci-fi. Sci-fi is where they get trapped with like,
Or
feelings.
Fast and the Furious, because that's just
True.
It's because they don't
Dog
want to wreck. They don't want to wreck like $2 million
$1
cars.
cars.
pansies.
Listen.
All of them.
The Fast and Furious movies are amazing.
The only one
national
that's
treasure.
good
No one can say. You
is-
better at least say Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift.
Okay.
The first one.
Only the good
Dude,
one.
going back and watching those first two is the most amazing thing ever. Like they have aged so poorly yet so amazingly. Like they're just. I really want to go back. We just need to watch them all.
Yeah, I want to.
Because I mean, we're definitely going to review the new one, and Chris is going to have to watch it without seeing any of the past like 6.
Correct.
Yeah,
So-
I'm gonna watch because I haven't
I
seen
am
the
not
past
going
like
to watch
3 or 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I really still loved. I've loved every single
So
one.
I'll probably like before.
Oh, actually, I take
before
that
that
back.
one.
There were 2 of the Fast and Furious movies right in the middle that I actively disliked. There was one where they're chasing through a tunnel. It was terrible. But
That was
outside of
the 4th one, wasn't
I
it?
think it was 4th or 5th. I really didn't like that one. But outside of that, I've loved them all.
Just saying, you can't talk shit about Transporter 2
That was a really bad movie.
Transporter
if
2
you
was
like-
pretty bad.
if you like Fast and the Furious, because that's essentially
But
Transporter
the problem
2.
is Transporter 2 compared to Transporter 1.
True.
Oh, so you just have to keep the bar low the entire time.
Because Transporter,
No, Transporter
1
1 was good. though.
was
I know.
a fantastic movie.
I'm just saying with
and then
Fast and
2
Furious.
was just not that great. Especially when he flips the car to like get the bomb off the bottom by like getting it hooked on the crane.
Yeah.
can do
Well,
that.
and I think that's the thing is there was a point within the Fast and Furious movies in the middle where they realized they were absurd. Like, because, Tokyo Drift, they were still taking themselves pretty seriously. And then, like, the 1 or 2 after that, they were, like, still not sure if they should take themselves seriously or just, like, jump the shark. And then after those 2...
Did they literally jump a shark?
They...
I'm sure.
Mm,
Probably jumped
might
like
as
a whale
well.
shark that was eating.
Well, there's rumors that the next
Other
one,
sharks.
like not the one that's coming out very soon, that's been made for a year, but the one following that, they're going to space. So they have jumped the shark.
Cool.
Now they're gonna race in space.
Hey, I'm all for it. Race in space, baby. I want it. I want him to
Space
drive a car across the moon.
Space race already happened. And the Russians won.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Rat Race, the movie, but in space. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Rat Race in
Genius.
space.
That's all we need. That's it.
Rat Race in
Make
space
it
is a
happen.
good
Alright,
name,
sold.
too.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll edit this part out and we'll sell it to Hollywood.
Good.
Okay.
This is just
Perfect.
gonna be a
Let's do it.
blank. You're just gonna see our mouths moving on the YouTube.
The problem is
Don't worry about it.
anybody under the age of like probably 28 doesn't even know what Rat
But
Race
that makes
is.
it better because that means you
point.
don't really have to tie. You can just do
No
some loose
expectations.
jokes. Yeah.
Okay, Rat Race in space. Let's do it.
Cool.
We're gonna make it.
It's a done deal.
With stick figures. Because that's all we have the budget for.
And it'll be like cardboard spaceships.
Yeah. And cars.
And it'll just be our hands just like
With you doing
for
the
it.
sound effects.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm pretty good at that.
So, really...
Slight detour there.
Yeah, just a little bit of a detour there. So, really with this thing, is there anything else you guys want to talk about outside of the future of this franchise? Because I do want to talk about
Yeah,
that.
dude. I mean, obviously they're setting it up.
They got to.
Sorry, but to answer your
No,
question,
you're good.
no.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to see more of these movies. Like, Nobody is easily a franchise, and I'm hoping that with the fact that it's the same writer from John Wick, maybe they can make some kind of relationship or deal, and we can get him in that series. I want him in the John Wick series so bad.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Which also
even
one-
if it's just like a passing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just like they're both
Tip
at the
of the
hotel
hat.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I actually went after watching this that first night. We went home and watched John Wick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The
because it's
third
on
one or the first
one.
Okay.
Because it's on Peacock.
So, the guy that is his, like, handler or whatever in the barbershop,
Yeah,
is he not from the John Wick movies?
he is.
The concierge.
He's the concierge.
He is. Okay, that's what I thought. So, these universes could connect.
you scroll up.
Technically, they could.
I was trying to find him on
He's at-
the
It
IMDb
says the
page.
barber.
Oh, does it? I was looking.
He's not the barber.
Scroll up. Yeah, he is.
He's getting his hair cut.
No, he's
by the
getting his hair
barber.
cut.
No, but he calls him the barber.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you scroll up, otherwise they wouldn't just list the barber.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You think that's him?
Yeah.
I don't know. We're about to see. Oh, that is him. You're
That
right.
is him.
Yep. Chris was right for once.
As always.
First time in his life. Yeah. So, yeah, the actor
Colin Salmon.
Colin Salmon. Yes, he's the concierge in John
We're
Wick.
sure he's in Wick.
I'm pretty
I'm
sure
not
that's
sure.
him. I thought that was him. Are we both wrong?
No, I was just agreeing with you.
Are we both totally wrong? I never said
is
it.
not
I was
in Wick.
letting you imply.
You racist.
We did say we did say that he was the concierge.
You said that. I didn't say that. I just
I-
agreed.
Right.
Honestly,
you don't know
though,
what
I
that
thought
word
it
means.
was, but-
No.
All right, now we've got to figure out.
I do. They look very similar.
Oh, I know who it is. Yes, they have like the same persona.
Yeah.
It's the guy from Fringe, isn't it?
I think so.
All right, this is going to blow my mind. Well, we'll have to figure this out later. But so I guess this can't be in the same universe, but maybe it still
can
could.
be.
It still could be.
Yeah,
and I think
that wasn't the
be.
only thing that could tie them together.
Right.
They both are shooty, bang, bang,
Shooty,
guys.
bang, bang.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Murdery guys.
Right there is Lance Reddick,
Was that right? Is
No,
Lance
that's
hotel
Seal.
manager.
Yep, I'm right. Okay, yeah, that is not Seal.
Wow.
It was
Seal.
a tiny picture. It
Took
was
y'all
a
a,
teeny
took y'all a
tiny
second
picture.
to pick up. It was a joke.
Oh, sure. It was a joke. Cover yourself.
You literally,
Here,
it says Lance
just give me the
Reddick.
shovel. You're going deeper and deeper.
Well,
Yeah.
I did actually call that one time. I mistaked like Lawrence Fishburne for
Oh,
somebody.
yeah, you did. That was like a week or so
Anyways,
ago.
I'm just terrible with names, so
So yeah, Lance Reddick. He was actually in Fringe, if I remember right.
He's
And
great.
He's done a lot of voice acting and stuff. They both have the same like persona, the same vibe.
I just saw we're going to see him again.
Are we? Is he definitely in the next-
Godzilla versus
Oh,
Kong.
he's in Godzilla versus Kong. Awesome. Oh, and he's the
And in
director of
Paradise
Monarch.
PD. Agent Clap. Oh, that's why
There you go.
I do recognize his voice.
He does a lot of voice acting. But anyway, so long story short, we want to see more of Nobody, and we would like to see him with John Wick. Well, so,
short story long, as he likes to say.
yes, exactly. Sure.
He said it in the movie,
Does he really? I
like
don't remember.
twice.
I didn't
Whenever
see
he's
it
monologuing,
twice.
No, no.
whenever he's monologuing to the people on the couch, he's like,
Yeah,
long,
but, you know.
short story long.
yeah. So
I just don't know what they would do.
They're going to do the family. Because
Yeah.
the dad and Tabretta, RZA, are
Yeah.
in the van.
Well, yeah, they're on like
They're moving towards
they're
to him.
selling weapons or something.
I think they're just moving.
they're moving
with-
their weapons so they.
What's his name?
They were to his place, I guess.
Because I'm sure he moved states or
Yeah.
cities.
Giving
You
him
think
a
that's what they were
bunker.
doing?
I think maybe.
I think so.
There
They're
could-
not-
I don't know
They're
what they were
selling.
doing. I thought they were selling because I was like a random collection of weapons.
They use guns.
Yeah, I don't think
They
they're
need to
selling,
sell
but they're clearly up to some
be wrong
kind of
about that.
shenanigans.
Maybe
But
this
Whatever
is
it was
gonna
got
tie-
RZA out of the office, out of his hiding. I mean,
I just think it was inspired casting to make a 80-some-odd-year-old man be in this movie and, be a ex-FBI agent and killer.
Yeah.
It was a pretty awesome choice.
Dig it.
yeah.
But so let's go ahead and check out the Rotten Tomato scores and see how this movie did.
Okay.
Okay.
So
ready.
I'm
You're
excited to see how wrong Matt is. And you were super wrong, Matt.
But I wasn't.
Yes,
Nope,
sir.
I think you're.
My audience was
I
right.
think I'm definitely the closest on.
Because I was
audience.
in between you, so.
Yeah, so let's see. I wrote down our scores here. So
I was.
Matt was the closest on audience. He guessed a 93, and
We need to tell them what it actually is.
yes, it was a 80. It's a good point. I should tell them that if you're not looking at it yourself right now. It had an 80% by critics and a 95% by audience, and this is over 1,000 actually.
Nice.
So that's actually substantially higher than some of the stuff we've been
That's what
seeing
I'm saying.
lately.
Like,
Well, I'm
AMC
telling you, I think
is at
people-
like 95% open.
Yeah.
I think people are tired of not like going out.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are used to going to the movie theaters.
Yeah,
and I'm
people
sure
miss
people
it.
are missing it.
For sure.
And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, well, we have to go see this one at theaters.
Yeah.
True.
Guess we're going.
Yep. I think you're definitely right. And so basically, just so you guys know, Chris was the closest on the critic score, and Matt was the closest on the audience score, and I was stuck right in the middle. But Matt was, let it be known, 40% off on the critics. So,
I just always,
just gonna
what
say
always
that.
fucks me up is when we review the rhythm section.
yeah, and we
First thing we reviewed,
For
Yeah.
sure.
the critics tanked it.
They
It was
did.
like a 20 or 30%, and we
we
all
all liked it.
were in the same mindset we were with this one. We
And
were
your
like,
wife.
this was fun, like this is awesome, and that shit got tanked.
Yeah.
That's literally I can't get a pulse
Right.
on the critics
What they
and
do.
action movies specifically.
Wasn't there something just recently that was like abysmally
Walking.
low?
Cats Walking was
Oh yeah, that movie that we
extraordinarily
can't remember.
We're learning the name.
Yeah,
we
it's
just talked
the
about
name.
it enough.
Chaos Walking, but it's very good.
They need to call that movie like Mind Sounds or something.
That would be way more memorable.
Right? Mind Sounds.
Mind noise.
Yeah. The noise of thought.
Thinking out loud.
Chaos noise. The noisy chaos.
See, chaos was throws me off. All right, so what it says as a critics' consensus is nobody doesn't break any new ground for the genre, but this viscerally violent thriller smashes, shatters, and destroys plenty of other things, all while proving Bob Odenkirk has what it takes to be an action star. And I could not agree more for that. And for the audience, their kind of consensus on that is grab some popcorn, action fans. If you're in the mood for creative stunts and funny, violent, fast-paced story, nobody delivers. And yeah, that totally works too.
Nobody delivers.
Yeah, that is the point. No one at all delivers.
Whenever you first started reading the critics one, it like broke my brain a little bit.
Yeah.
Nobody doesn't break any. I'm like, what? English?
Exactly. Yeah, it sounds like everybody, we're not going to have to pick people apart too much. We'll probably just need to look at splats, honestly, just to see what the people who didn't like this had to say. So, here's one right away from the New Yorker. Big surprise. All right. What makes this fantasy of cowboy-style self-defense so disturbing is that it isn't limited to the movies. It's the very same belief system that gets used in real life to justify the American obsession with gun ownership. Go fuck yourself, Richard Brody.
Called it.
What a beta bitch. Go home, Richard, you
Dick Brody.
Dick Brody. You were nicer than me. I'm glad.
That's his name.
Yeah, it is. It is. Richard. Oh my God. Of course. That was my worry with this film, but usually they're pretty
Well, there's
light.
always going to be critics.
I'm
sure every action movie. I bet we can look up John Wick, and I'm sure it's
Probably
highly
the
rated,
same
but I'm
guys
sure,
review.
exactly, I'm sure there's people out there like, this just promotes gun violence.
Well,
I'm
let's
sure.
just look it up.
Yeah, we could look up and see what Richard Brody had to say about it. I'm sure he said the same thing. But it's like, there's no way that this dude didn't see the trailer for this movie, see who was attached to it, and think that it was going to be anything else than what he just said it was.
Well, sure, but that doesn't change the fact that's how he feels about it.
Of course.
You can anticipate what a movie is going to be and then still hate it.
Oh, I mean, I
It's
agree.
just a dick move.
Yeah, well, it is. I guess that's my point.
Yeah.
Is it's just like they shouldn't have. This guy could have said this without even seeing the movie. I guess is kind of my
for
point.
sure.
Like they obviously it's fine to not like this movie if you don't like it, but it's like that you could have picked up on that from the description, looking at the director, and seeing the trailer,
Right.
Or even one of any of those things.
Also true.
So Claudia Hugh from Film Week says, it feels unnecessary at best and irresponsible at worst. Obviously, and this is someone also from NPR LA, so not a big shock there. So
Unnecessary. Is there any necessary movie?
right.
Is enjoyment necessary? Like, what?
Well, the thing is, she's really just coming out once again.
Yeah.
This genre.
Yeah.
Name
Right, yeah.
any action movie that is necessary
And
or
responsible.
responsible.
Outside of like just the most like vanilla documentary.
Yeah,
Right.
those are documentaries. Those aren't even
Planet
movies.
Earth was very responsible.
Very responsible.
Very.
Possibly educationally necessary.
True and beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
So, sorry, I just need to read this because this first line is really funny. So, Max Weiss from Baltimore Magazine says, nobody is the Axe body spray of movies. It's pseudo cool. It leaves a lingering bad odor, and just because it'll find an appreciative audience of hormonal teenage boys doesn't mean it's actually any good.
Guys, it's good news. We're teenagers again.
Oh, what? No, that's terrible.
No, we can relive
No,
our 20s.
I'll embrace it. Yeah, bring it on.
I'm glad I'm 33. Thank you. very
You are.
much.
She's just really telling me I look young.
Yeah.
That's what I'm reading from this.
Yeah.
And
smelly.
horny.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yes,
Oh,
I mean, that's
yeah.
a given, but
That
smelly.
just comes with teenagers.
Yeah.
Horny monal.
Hormonal, yeah. This is just Ed yeah, this just, I mean, so it's all the people that didn't like this are basically carbon copies of the same people. They're just leftists who are anti-gun, anti-machismo, and they're unbearable assholes.
Anti-action.
Yeah, I mean, at least Max is funny.
Max is funny. I give Max props. That was actually funny.
Wait,
Yeah.
there was one more down at the bottom that
Yeah.
I was like, actually kind of a good.
Yeah, I was going to say that this type of a thing, so this is Jordan with World of Real, says there is nothing new or fresh about Nobody. It just stinks, or it just sticks there like a retread of better or more invigorating movies. And it's like I can at least understand that perspective.
Right, and that's I can see where
It's
they're
like,
coming
I
from.
can't.
There are
I'm not saying I agree with it, but I can see someone saying that versus just like the other people who it's like, you just shouldn't have watched this movie because you knew what it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like, you're not a surprise to anyone.
yeah.
Versus this person, it's like, okay, like, yes, I guess technically it's not doing a whole lot different than John Wick. Like,
Right, or even Red, because Red was kind of the same
Red,
thing. Like he's
those types of-
retired badasses that get dragged back in, and like Red had plenty of comedy. I mean, John Wick doesn't have any comedy to it, really.
Yeah.
Where Red was, it was kind of comedic. You know, there are loopy old people out there with guns and kicking ass. Like,
yeah,
Right.
so I can definitely see what he's talking about,
sure.
but this is still an awesome movie.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
It's a lot of fun.
I think it's a lot of fun. So, I mean, really, I guess we weren't surprised by any of this.
No.
Which, honestly, though, the fact that these people that are saying those types of things, that is the main complaint about this movie. It does to a degree. Now, this was out of only, let's see,
70, I think it was.
Was that what it was? 179, so almost 180 critics. But that actually does give me hope to a degree for some of these critics that they all aren't saying that. Because critics do get a pretty bad rap for all being pretty much of the same train of thought.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, it is. It is why we're here. And we have... It is hope, at least for this industry, in my opinion, is that even if you are of that mind, some of these... Because clearly there are plenty of these other reviewers that probably are in that camp that aren't feeling that way about this movie, if that makes any sense.
Or they can still appreciate that it's a good movie.
Exactly. They can appreciate this is a good movie, that it's well made, that it's just an action movie. Like, and that is what it is, and you can accept it for that. And so that does give me some hope, at least for the critic industry, if you will.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, obviously we know critics are regularly very wrong, but you know, in this case, by and large, they did good.
Yeah,
I'm proud of them.
80%.
Good job,
for y'all.
critics.
And actually, it looks like, so this didn't make a killing. This only made $6.8 million. Now, granted, this is still technically during quote unquote.
And it's been out less than a week.
Yeah, this is during COVID too. This is at home only. So that is low numbers for before COVID. But for now, I don't really know how things have been trending and what's been going on monetarily within this industry. I'll need to look back into that. I didn't even know that they were putting these numbers here on Rotten Tomatoes. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. But
Yeah.
which obviously I feel like this being that it wasn't CG heavy, it was very practical, it wasn't super long, it wasn't like it was packed to the brim with celebrities. You know, there are three primarily fairly famous people in it, and you know but I doubt that they had to pay these guys out the ear, and so this was probably made on a fairly reasonable budget, I guess is all that I'm getting at.
Right.
And I feel like this will probably see a huge boom when it comes to homes.
I'm hoping it does, and I'm hoping they
sure.
do go, hey,
We get more.
when you make at least a sequel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I totally
Call
agree.
it Nobody Else.
I like
That's
it.
good. That's good.
Very nice.
Nice.
I
I
applaud
like it.
Yeah. Did anybody else recognize Michael Ironside?
No, I
He's
did
like
not.
Unrecognizable. I knew that I recognized the face.
Yeah.
I'm like
I'm trying to
contradicting
remember
myself
where we
by
even
saying
saw
that.
him.
He's the dad. Or the dad-in-law.
Oh,
Was he? That was him?
Yeah.
Father-in-law.
Oh, my
technically
goodness.
called.
No, I
Wow.
call him daddy-in-laws.
That's
That's why I'm not married.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, that is coming from an unmarried man, clearly. So,
yeah, but no, he was the father-in-law.
yeah,
Dude,
I did not recognize him at all.
has, I mean, no offense. He has not aged well. Sorry,
He's just
brother.
aged to look different.
Yeah. Age to look different. I like that. That's a good way to
Now
put
they
it.
didn't age wrong.
I feel the same way about
That's
myself.
fair.
My head is about twice the size that
Yeah.
it was, and
I'm,
so is my body. So
aging
you know.
differently.
Also true.
That's all.
That's a very nice way to put it. You're a nicer person than I
This
am.
is what I
You
tell
are.
myself every day. I'm like, hey, look, you're aging nicely.
You
and very
aged
different.
differently, Matt.
Different. Unique aging process.
All right, awesome. Well, you guys want to wrap it up? Think we're
Let's do
good?
it.
Want to head on into
Oh,
it?
yeah.
All right, folks. So we're going to go ahead and do our send-off songs. I've actually already added mine into the playlist earlier today so that I wouldn't forget what our song was. So if you didn't know, we do send-off songs, and we're going to send you off with a song. And you can check out our send-off song playlist on YouTube and on Spotify. We have a season 1 and a season 2. All this stuff is on season 2. So make sure to subscribe and check out both, or on the YouTube channel, literally just click over to playlist, and maybe Chris will have created our season 2 playlist by then.
Probably.
But yeah, so our the song that I am doing this week is actually a little bit of an older song, but it's called the name of the song is "The Mother We Share," and it's by Chvrches. Chvrches is a fairly popular band. You very well have heard this song, but it's really good. And Chvrches is spelled with a V. This is Chvrches. But yeah, "The Mother We Share." This is a really, really cool song.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I haven't listened to them in a long time.
Yeah.
I dig 'em. Is this new song?
I don't. It's not brand new. I think it maybe from last year or something.
That's
but
still newer than last time.
It's a very good. It's kind of got a bit of a, in my opinion, a little bit of an 80s-ish vibe to it. Obviously, it's me listening to it, and it's them, and so you know.
1 + 1.
It's
two.
me,
Yeah.
it's you.
That makes sense.
It's us together.
It's us. That's the conclusion we've come to. So, what do you guys have?
So this is a band that I did last season actually, and I'm still just. They only have like 6 songs, but I can't stop listening to their music.
Nice.
So it's the band called Until I Wake, and the song is Less of Me.
Okay. Awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah,
And what type of band are they again?
So it's punk screamo.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm bad at quantifying these things.
Sure. Same.
No, that's fine. Awesome.
I am excited about this one.
Yeah.
Everybody is coming out with new songs.
They are.
New music is everywhere. It is flourishing, vivacious space of sound in my ear holes.
Yes. I love everything, all those words that you just said.
This song is called Bedhead.
Bedhead? Okay.
And it is by Manchester Orchestra.
Dude, Manchester has new music
no
out?
Yeah,
shit.
and it is
Really?
different. So, like, Manchester, obviously, in the past was slowy, glowy, methodical. But this is actually, like, got a beat. It's a little poppy. Not poppy, but I mean, like, it makes you pop.
Upbeat.
We saw them live before they were a thing, didn't we? Way back in the day. I'm pretty sure I did. I don't know.
You're
if
talking
you were
about like
there.
the 80s?
Yeah, back in the 80s when we were unborn, we went and saw them.
Winkles in your dad's eyes?
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't even that.
Oh, God. I don't think about that.
I'm not going to... Never mind. I was going to say something that I'm not going to say. So I'm just going to leave it at that. A thing that my dad always says to me that's awful, but I'm not going to say it. So it's too vulgar. And I've been pretty vulgar this episode already. So, yeah.
That's saying something.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's my dad.
It is your dad.
So, yeah, that's all you got to know.
But yeah, there's a little bit, there's some parts, if you listen to it, where, which I'm sure you will, with the vocals has like an M82 kind of vibe. Just the, like, the way it flows, kind of like, just a very small portion of it, but just reminded me of it. Yeah. Anyways, it's very good, and fucking love Manchester Orchestra. But this is much different. They have another one that I listened to, and it's not as good as this one. Their newest song out was the one, but this is like a month old or something like that.
Nice. Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. So, guys, outside of that, I guess we're going to be heading off. Next week, it is weird. Most definitely going to be doing Godzilla. We'll probably try and drop that as soon as humanly possible. Well, I say Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, I'm doing Kong. I don't know what you guys do.
Yeah. No, we're doing Godzilla. So, but yeah, we're going to be doing Godzilla versus Kong. This is a HBO Max release and also theater release. We will probably see it in theaters, if not in both. So we are all pretty excited about this one, and it's already out. It actually came out today. Do you guys know the date today?
Oh,
What is the date?
it's the 31st.
It's the 31st? Yeah, it is the 31st because tomorrow's the 1st. So, yeah. So it's already out. You can go check
That's
it
how
out.
month's work.
Yeah.
Except
Listen, that's time is
Tricks on
figment
you, it's
of
already
your
April.
imagination.
is it after?
It is. It's 12 o'clock. So
What do you mean?
Already
ha?
pulled a April Fool's prank on you guys.
Wait, why are you pointing at me?
You got April
Blade said
Fools.
tomorrow was the first.
That's right. You
Oh, I
fooled.
did say today was the 31st.
you tried to month educate me, and then he April Fool's you.
Then he time lapsed me. Time wizard.
Yep, he's a time wizard. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about next week. And as usual, we'll give a special thanks to Ketsa Music, Ketsa, Ketsa Music. You can check them out anywhere on their website and on Instagram. He puts out some great stuff, did our intro and outro song. Thanks to Aubrey Troutman for doing our logo. Thanks to myself for doing everything else. And actually, definitely big thanks to Matt's wife, Zena Verlack. She's been working on our social media. So if you see that it's been a lot more active, it's because I've had nothing to do with it, and that's why.
And it's all her.
Yes, it is all her.
100%.
Yeah, do not think Matt, he had nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it.
I don't do anything.
Yeah,
ever,
Chris
so.
is completely worthless. He
Nobody
just shows
wants to
up
thank me.
yeah. So, but yeah, thanks to all those folks, and then also if you want to check us out, make sure to go check us out on Instagram. We're Critically Aroused, and everywhere else we're the same. And we might even at some point start Twitch streaming. We tried it tonight and did not work well because my computer almost exploded. So
Maybe next
we're not
week.
doing that
Maybe
yet.
next time.
But yeah, maybe next time. So we're experimenting. We're trying new things, but make sure to just follow us and like us everywhere. Do the same thing, YouTube. Give us a thumbs up and all that fun stuff. But thanks guys for joining us. We've really enjoyed it. And until next week when we're Konging and Godzilla, and see you then. Bye.
Later.
Peace. We should take bets on if Kong or
Who wins?
yeah.
Yeah. Neither. I don't think they're gonna.
They're gonna join forces against communism.
We can only
No, versus wokeism.
Yeah. Oh.